Hello, it's Anna Hill here with the Farming Today podcast. A report out today says a skills squeeze means jobs in farming, fishing and forestry are not being filled.
We've got a real challenge in terms of getting the right people with the right skills to be able to deliver for the land-based sector.
We'll have more on that in just a moment. First, though, it's the fourth year of the Future Countryside Conference, which brings together a wide selection of leaders in farming, conservation and rural issues. It's being held at the Raby Estate in County Durham. This year, it's asking the question, how can we win support for a growing and recovering countryside? Julian Glover chaired the government's Landscapes Review and has co-organised the conference.
One of the points of our Future Countryside gathering is to build connections between different groups. We need to build links and make the connected case for the countryside as an absolutely foundational part of a successful nation.
You're having this in the Raby Estate, in a castle. Is that inclusive?
We're having it in the most beautiful public space on the edge of the castle, which anybody can come to, and you can come to this part of it without a ticket. It's absolutely stunning countryside, and this countryside is part of the lives of everybody in the area. It's a very, very inclusive place, and that's one of the things we need to get over about the countryside. It's not just for a few, it is for all of us, and we need to break those barriers down, but also that people know what it takes to make a successful countryside. We have policy coming out of our ears. It's the doing, and it's building those links between people with different ideas. So we are not a place that's trying to tell farmers how to farm. We're a place that builds links between farming and nature, between city and the countryside, between business and the countryside. We have this extraordinary, wonderful asset, the countryside. It does so many complex and brilliant things, and it's full of creative people. It covers huge amounts of our land, of course. And yet it doesn't punch its weight in debate. It doesn't punch its weight in policy. It's often the victim of governments suddenly changing plans or of the Treasury saying it can't afford things. And it's because we don't have a shared rural voice. And that's what we're here to do. The countryside matters much more, I think, than people in the countryside sometimes realise.
You have got a lot of names there. You've got Minette Batters, former president of the National Farmers Union, Baroness Kate Rock, who headed up the Tenant Farmers Review. You've also got Kirsty Allsop, the Wildlife Trusts, the National Trust, the CPRE.
It's really, really good to bring those organisations together. And I know there could be a risk of just having big organisations talking to each other, and a lot of people in the countryside might feel they're out there doing the work while the organisations are telling them what to do. But we do need to connect those organisations. They don't always form links in the way we need. And Kirsty Allsop, it's great she's coming up. She's part of our campaign against litter and fly tipping. So we're launching a big report today, just looking at the scale of the problem, how little of it's reported. The powers are often there for people to do something about it, but it's hugely fragmented. There's no coordination between the different authorities that are supposed to be responsible. So we're calling for action and calling for change on that, and Kirsty is speaking on that. And we're having a debate about where power really lies in the countryside now. Does DEFRA hold the authority anymore? Is it still the centre? Or is it dispersed into places like mayors, into NGOs? And we'll be debating that. So we're coming at the countryside and its problems from a slightly different angle to many of the traditional ways of doing it. And through that, I'm sure we can bring change. We're not telling people what to do. We want to give them muscle, give them strength, and make it central to a really, really successful countryside, because this is a moment.
Well, you say that, Julian, but actually what is going to come out of this? Is something concrete going to come out of this?
I hope what comes out of this is not just a set of good conversations on the day, but that is really important. You get those connections, you get those conversations. The countryside can be very isolating, and countryside policy is very fragmented. But what I want to see is a real sense, as we go into a hugely tumultuous political time coming up, that the countryside isn't lost in that debate. It's not pushed aside as a secondary thing that we can't now afford, and there's a danger of that. We need to assert ourselves, and that's what we are going to achieve, a connected force that can make a difference.
Julian Glover at the Future Countryside Conference in County Durham. All this week we're taking a closer look at upland farming across the UK. Today we're on the hillside in Wales, where more than half the country is classed as upland. That ranges from mountainsides and blanket bogs to heathland and moors. Unlike England, farmers still receive a basic payment from the Welsh Government, though it's being phased out to be replaced with the Sustainable Farming Scheme, which came in this year. Katie Davis farms in the Ogmore Vale near Bridgend. She grazes livestock at 600 metres above sea level. Sally Challoner joined her as she checked on her sheep.
Come on. Come on, boys. Come on. We've got mainly South Wales Mountain sheep here. Got to be really hardy, obviously, and good mothers as well. We keep mainly hill breeds because obviously they're suited to the environment and they thrive on really poor quality land as well.
What are the challenges then?
Yeah, the weather's a massive challenge. The rain that we had sort of January, February really did have a really bad impact on the ewes. I mean, they did lose a bit of condition. We had to feed them more. They don't enjoy the wet weather. They prefer it if it's dry and cold. Even snow is better, sort of healthier for them.
Some conservationists have termed the phrase sheep wrecking on the hills, say, oh, it's overgrazed. What would you say to them?
There's a lot of talk about overgrazing in the uplands, in Wales in particular, but it's a balance, isn't it? And if you look at examples of rewilding, which is the opposite, that can actually have a detrimental impact on habitats and ecosystems. So,
in what way?
You know, you encourage excessive sort of weeds and brash, fire load increases as well. So increasing the fuel load is a massive concern, as well as, you know, invasive species of weeds and things as well. So, you know, grazing, whether it's with cattle or sheep or combined grazing, I would say is the best because they graze in different ways, but ultimately they help manage the habitat. So they are a management tool and, you know, they're a really important part of the hill and uplands in Wales.
What's your soil like up here? Because it's just grass, isn't it, really? There's trees lower down the slopes.
Yeah, we're mainly just grass. We struggle to grow anything else, to be honest with you. Mainly because of the height above sea level, but also because of the soil type. So we've got a lot of peat here on the farm, which is great for sort of habitats and ecosystems and things. But yeah, it's very difficult to do anything else other than grow grass.
So you'll be claiming money from the new sustainable farming scheme. What do you have to do to get money?
We have applied for the scheme. There's various things that we need to do. Things like animal health planning, soil testing and management, habitat management, and various other things. There's quite a lot of additional paperwork which hasn't been welcomed by some farmers. So there's a lot of things, good things in there, and I think there's a lot of things that farmers in Wales are already doing. It's a really important part of hill farming income, and without it, it wouldn't be viable.
Well, while they're munching on that, you also have cattle, don't you? But they could be anywhere on your land, but I know you've got an app to track them.
Yeah, that's right. So the cows are out 9 months of the year and they're on a 800-acre patch of hill. So sometimes it can be really difficult to find them, especially when it's foggy and raining. I could be driving around for hours. So yeah, we've got no fence collars, which I've got an app on my phone. The cows wear these collars, which are GPS collars. So I know where each individual cow is at any time. I can monitor her movement, etc. It alerts me if they haven't moved for a certain time, if something is potentially wrong. Its main sort of purpose is for conservation grazing purposes, really. We can move the cows around depending on areas on the hill that is undergrazed or overgrazed, for example. We've seen a real improvement in sort of habitats and a real sort of mosaic of habitats then on the hill.
Katie Davis there talking to Sally Challoner. Now, we've been hearing a lot over the last few days about Alan Milburn's report on NEETs, young people not in education, employment or training. His report pointed out that entry-level jobs have sharply declined, with the number of mid- and lower-skilled jobs in the economy falling by around 1.6 million over the past 20 years. Well, another report published today shows there should be plenty of opportunities for young people to take up training and jobs in land-based work, but there's what it calls a skills squeeze. The study by Lantra, a charity which provides training and qualifications in land-based industries, says jobs are available but not being filled. Nick Juba, CEO of Lantra, explained what a skills squeeze is.
Land-based industries underpin the UK economy, we know that, and we also know that they're central to delivering against national government priorities in food security or net zero or climate adaptation. And yet the system that provides skills around 6 in 10 or 60% of some of our the people or the skills working in our sector, so forestry or fishing, for example, are facing elevated demand. So it means that we've got a real challenge in terms of getting the right people with the right skills to be able to deliver for the land-based sector. It's also that the skills needs in some of our sectors are changing. So, for example, we know that management skills, and particularly financial management, are important to farmers and growers. We also know that the use of data to support technology in land management or sustainability and regenerative practice, these are all skills that are really going to be important for the land-based sectors, but it's not easy always for businesses to access them. So that's what we mean by a skills squeeze. It's both a challenge with getting young people into the sectors, but it's also about giving those who are already working in our sectors the skills that they need.
What sort of help do you think the industry needs to improve the situation?
There are some large-scale things that our research suggests needs to happen. So we don't have a national skills plan that says these are the skills that we might need in the future, these are the number of young people or workers that we have with them, and therefore we need to develop these other areas in order to meet economic need. And that's really something that we would like to see government support. They do that in other sectors within the industrial strategy, but we don't have that for land-based, and we think a better understanding, better data around skills and workforce would help us underpin that national skills plan.
We have recently had Alan Milburn's report on NEETs, on young people who are not in education or in jobs. Do you think that the problem that you've got here with the skills squeeze is also part of that problem too?
It's a fascinating report, and I think certainly at Lantra we really welcome it, because around 1 million of young people are failed by the existing system, and that means that there is a genuine pool of high quality, talented young people who could come and access some of the really exciting careers that are available in our sectors. So we would like to see, I think, better and more coordinated careers guidance and advice. It's not always easy for those who are perhaps not from a farming or a growing background to understand the breadth of roles and how things like agri-food underpins such an important part of key aspects of our economy like food security. So yes, we would like to be able to better to tap into that pool of talent.
Some sectors of employment are worried about the impact of AI reducing the number of jobs available. Do you think land-based work could be affected by that too?
It's not something that our research has highlighted. We've not found that is a challenge, and indeed there are some benefits, we think, of the applied use of data that can support more efficient and more effective growing. So it's not something that the research has highlighted.
Do you think, though, working with your hands, working in land-based industries, there are some jobs, aren't there, that need people?
Isn't that a wonderful thing if those who work on the land in the rural economy are protected from some of those challenges around AI, which are evident in other sectors but don't appear to be? I think the land-based sectors, they are a hands-on, practical, vocational sector. So I think maybe there is greater resilience around the use of AI than we would find in other sectors. So perhaps that's something, part of our solution around supporting young people to understand some of those benefits.
Nick Juba, CEO of Lantra. That's all from us. I'm Anna Hill. The producer was Rebecca Rooney. Farming Today is a BBC Audio Bristol production.